Have you ever felt like your cat suddenly froze, staring at something that simply isn't there? No sound, no movement, nothing you can see, and yet your cat is completely focused, as if something invisible just walked into the room. Most cat owners brush this off as random behavior. Maybe you've laughed it off, thinking your cat is just being weird again. But what if that moment means something much deeper? What if your cat is experiencing a world that exists just beyond your senses? Cats don't just live in your home, they experience it in a completely different dimension of perception. Take their hearing, for example. A cat can detect frequencies far higher than humans ever could. Sounds that are completely silent to you, tiny movements inside walls, distant vibrations. Even the faintest high-pitched signals can be crystal clear to them. So, when your cat suddenly turns their head toward an empty corner, they're not imagining things. They might be reacting to something very real, something you simply cannot hear. But it goes even further than that. Have you ever noticed your cat watching the ceiling, tracking something that seems to move slowly across it? Their eyes locked, their body still, their pupils wide. Most people assume it's a bug or a speck of dust. Sometimes it is, but sometimes there's nothing there at all. Cats are incredibly sensitive to motion, even at the smallest level. Their eyes are built to detect the slightest shifts in light and shadow. A tiny flicker, a subtle change in brightness, things your brain filters out instantly, can appear vivid and alive to them. To your cat, the world isn't still. It's constantly moving, breathing in ways you can't perceive. And then there's something even more fascinating: their ability to sense vibrations. Cats don't just hear with their ears, they feel through their bodies. Their whiskers, their paws, even their bones can pick up vibrations from the environment. This means they can sense footsteps before you hear them, detect movement through walls, and even anticipate events before they happen. That moment when your cat runs to the door right before someone arrives, it's not coincidence. They're picking up signals long before you're aware of anything at all. But here's where things start to feel almost mysterious. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and noticed your cat staring into darkness? Not moving, not blinking, just watching. The room is silent, everything feels still, but your cat seems completely alert, as if something is there with them. This is where many owners feel a strange sense of unease, because deep down, it doesn't feel random. The truth is, cats are crepuscular creatures, meaning they are naturally most active during dawn and dusk. Their senses are heightened in low light, allowing them to navigate and perceive things in near darkness far better than we can. What looks like an empty, dark room to you is actually full of detail and subtle movement to your cat. So, while you see darkness, your cat sees a world that's still very much alive. And then there's their sense of smell, something we often underestimate. A cat's sense of smell is far more powerful than a human's, allowing them to detect chemical changes in their environment. They can sense shifts in mood, changes in routine, even subtle differences in your body. That's why sometimes your cat behaves differently around you without any obvious reason. They're picking up on things you don't even realize are happening. But perhaps the most misunderstood behavior of all is when your cat suddenly reacts to something invisible and then calmly walks away as if nothing happened. No fear, no panic, just quiet acknowledgement. Most people think this is meaningless, but in reality, it shows something important about how cats experience the world. They don't overanalyze. They don't question every sensation. They simply observe, process, and move on. And maybe that's why these moments feel so mysterious to us. Because as humans, we rely heavily on logic and visible proof. If we can't see it or hear it, we assume it doesn't exist. But your cat doesn't live by those rules. Their reality is built on senses that extend far beyond yours. And here's something that might change the way you see your cat forever. When your cat chooses to relax next to you, to close their eyes, to let their guard down in your presence, they're doing that in a world where they are constantly aware of everything around them, every sound, every movement, every vibration. And yet, despite all of that, they feel safe with you. That means something deeper than most people realize. Your cat isn't just sharing your space. They're trusting you in a world that is far more intense, far more detailed, and far more overwhelming than the one you experience. So, The next time your cat stares into an empty room, pauses mid-step, or reacts to something you can't see or hear, don't dismiss it. Instead, remember this. You might not be seeing the full picture, but your cat just might be. And maybe the most mysterious part isn't what your cat can see. It's how, in that invisible world, they still choose you as their safe place.